Sammappadhāna C, the four Sammappadhānas, or the four right exertions. This is one of the 40 practices within Vipassanā Kammathān, the Kammathāna Vipassana method of practice, as learned by me in Thailand through Thai Vipassana, which is different from, not too different, but don't connect it with American Vipassana or Gurdjieff or whatever. I like Gurdjieff, by the way, but anyway, according to Thai tradition, the Sammappadhāna C, the four great exertions. A lot of people spend a lot of time on this and still don't get it. So I thought, after receiving a question from, call out to Mr. D, I won't say his name, but he inspired this by asking me the question. So I said, I tell you what, I'll make a podcast about it, because this is a question many people need to know. Some kind of explanation too. So the four Sammappadhānas, the four right exertions, are listed as such. These exertions as four. To sustain, so not let be destroyed, the good deeds of the past, or the good karma of the past, or the auspicious acts of the past, depending if you're scientific, religious, Gnostic, agnostic, Buddhist, Muslim, doesn't matter. Just to not destroy the good you've done in the past, which is unchangeable, of course. Remember that fact for what I'm going to say shortly. And to get rid of, or at least lessen, the weight of the bad deeds, or the inauspicious or unskillful deeds which lead to regret of the past. So suffering is regret. Regret is suffering, a form of suffering. So two exertions there to reduce the bad deeds of the past, and to maintain and sustain the merits one has made, or the good deeds of the auspicious and skillful acts of the past. Well, the past is the past. You can't change it, can you? So how can you make an exertion there? You can't exert yourself to get rid of the bad deeds of the past in the past. It's not really an exertion. There are only two exertions you have to perform in order to complete the four exertions. They are exertions because one has to exert oneself to achieve all four things. But all you have to do is two things to achieve all four exertions, and it's this. Because you can't change the past, the good and the bad deeds, or the skillful and unskillful deeds, speech, words, and thoughts and intentions, and selfish acts, karma, or whatever you want to call it, cause and effect, as I call it. For every little action, there is a reaction, always. It's actually a law of quantum mechanics and of physics, and it is dharma also, Buddha dharma, cause and effect. Karma is cause and effect. So, there are two sides to every coin. The four exertions are basically two coins with two sides, the past and the present future, because there's actually the only thing that exists is the present, but anyway, the future will come and become the present. This present was the future 5 minutes ago. So it does happen. The future does come. So the present and the future. There's two times. There's the past, and then there's the present/future. That what has been, and that what is. And that what is, and what we do now, and what we say and think and intend now, creates that future, the outcome of that future. That is cause and effect, or karma, or law of physics, of energy, a transformation of energy. The pendulum swings this distance to the left, it swings the same distance to the right. If it gets slower and the distance lessens, it lessens by 1 inch to the left, it also will lessen 1 inch to the right. So don't think that the pendulum slowing down is going to change that. It isn't. It's a law of physics, and it's a law of Dharma, and it's a balance. And if you interpret the beginnings of the Bible, the Old Testament, of the Nephilim and the Elohim and the war in heaven, you will see that what appeared to stop the war was actually a pair of scales. It was a balance. Which is falsely interpreted by most people, but anyway, I'm digressing. 2 sides of 2 coins, is the 4 Right Exertions. And all you have to do to make these exertions and practice the 4 Sammappadhāna, and this is what's important about this podcast, is not just to explain what they are, but to tell you how to practice it, how to apply the practice, which nobody ever seems to do in all these Vipassana podcasts and teachings. So here you go. All you have to do is maintain the skillful acts of the past by not committing any unskillful acts in the present and the future, because you can't change the past. All you can do is now and in the future, the now that you will be experiencing when the future becomes now. So in the present moment, all you can do is what you can say, think, intend, in the present moment, And in the future, well, you can't do it in the future now. The only time you can do it in the future, when that time comes, it's not the future anymore, it's the present. So actually, it's just the present, in the present moment. So this past, present and future should not be really, I'll go into that another day. I have ADHD. We have no beginning, middle and end, or a sequence, or a past, present or future. There is, you ask me tomorrow what time to call a taxi, I can't tell you because I don't know what time I'm going to wake up or what mood I'm going to be in, when I'm going to be in the mood to take a taxi. So don't ask me now, ask me when it's... somebody asked me today, when are we going to do that? I said, when I feel like it. When are you going to feel like it? I said, I don't know. Whenever it happens. And when it happens, that will be a present moment. So, in the present moment, all you do is avoid unskillful acts, speech, and intentions, and anything unskillful, that you could do in speech, thought, or your heart. No unskillful vibrations in your heart, or in your mind, or intention, or actually doing it, the act itself. Let the thought become the intention and the emotion of the heart, and then actually go out and do it unskillfully. Avoid that in the present moment. And what that does is, that is the exertion of to avoid skillful acts in the future. The 4 exertions are: get rid of the unskillful acts of the past, sustain the skillful acts of the past, increase skillful acts now and in the future, and avoid unskillful acts now and in the future. But it is the act of avoiding unskillful acts now and in the future that sustains the good acts of the past. So by avoiding unskillful acts now, onwards, for the rest of your life, you will sustain all of the good things you ever did before that. So you will achieve 2 in 1. You'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. That's 1 double-sided coin of the 4 Sammappadhānas, the 4 exertions. The other of the 2 things you have to do is to try to speak, think, feel, intend, and act skillfully. Without regret, do not create causes of effects that are inauspicious. And what that does is create more merit, make yourself more meritorious, because you're not committing unskillful acts, only skillful ones. What that does is helps you to, you can never wipe out what you did in the past that was unskillful, but what it can do is make it less and less important, and that is the balance in the sky of the war in heaven between the devil on your left shoulder or right shoulder, depending how you think, or if I'm looking at you, or you're looking at yourself in the mirror, or you're just feeling which one's on which shoulder, because left and right is a matter of perspective. The devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other telling you what to do, yeah? You decide by free will, and that is a sixth sense that most humans don't do because they behave instinctually according to their emotions, and emotions are things which are created from chemicals in the nervous system released by the brain, which are a result of thoughts which are conditioned that make you angry or sad or happy or excited through memory association from things that you see, smell or hear. Words that somebody says that you agree with or disagree with, like or don't like, smells and so on. And that's all a big heap of suffering. But that belongs within the teaching of the 5 aggregates, the 5 khandhas or skandhas, yeah, which is the mass of suffering that is the 5 aggregates. But the 4 Sammappadhānas, the 4 great exertions, is be skillful now and continue to be so in the what you might call the future. I have problems with that, sorry, because the only time you can act is now. And so do that now and in the future. To me, it just means do that now, and every moment that comes from now when it becomes the now. That's the future for me. It can't be anything else. It's not happened yet. It's only when it's happening that you can act. So the present, just say the present, focus on the present, only the present. Act now in the present auspiciously and avoid inauspicious action. You do that and you are practicing all 4 great exertions. Just don't be good, don't be bad. That's all it means. In a nutshell, the 4 great exertions are: be good, don't be bad. Speak good things, don't speak bad things. Think good things, don't think bad things. Have good intention, don't have harmful intention. Yeah? Have good emotions and moods, don't have bad, unskillful or sorrowful or suffering moods. Yeah? And think, hear, see, speak no evil, and definitely do no evil. Do good, think good, speak good. Whatever you hear, listen to the good side of it and ignore the bad side of it, and polarize anything that you hear that would normally be bad according to our conditioning, cultural or social or human, of ethics. Just try and find something good in it. And that is how to use energy and polarize energy from negative into positive, and to make the exertion to be skillful and avoid being unskillful. And through doing that in the present, you are completing the exertions of getting rid of the unskillfulness of the past, leaving it behind, not getting rid of it. Leave behind the unskillful acts of the past. Bring the skillful acts of the past with you. Create more skillful acts now to increase them, and do not allow the unskillful acts of the past to increase anymore by committing further unskillful acts. If you can do that, then you are properly practicing the 4 great exertions. Yeah. So, John Spencer for the Buddha Magic Project and for the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Putto Menato, Dhammo Menato, Sangho Menato. Our refuge. Signing off.